you see. Here's my story. I'm Roopa. I'm 52, she, her. I was born in India. I have borderline personality disorder, complex PTSD, and depression. When I was 5 years old, I asked my mom, what does depressed mean? Does it mean really sad? She said yes. I said, I think I'm depressed. I used to wake up in my bed feeling very heavy and paralyzed, staring at the ceiling, feeling doomed, bad, dirty, like there was a black hole inside me. Emptiness engulfed me. Growing up in the 70s and 80s in Buffalo, New York didn't help as an Indian immigrant. That was the first stigma I encountered, which is social stigma. I was an outcast, bullied, called dirty and brown, ugly. When we visited India, it was more of the same. I didn't fit in there either anymore because I was too American. I was sexually assaulted by a group of boys in the 2nd grade. It was physically innocent enough, but more sexual assaults ensued by older boys that were not as innocent. The worst part was I couldn't tell my mom because I knew she would blame me. I started cutting myself at 15. I was full of rage, but no one knew because it wasn't outward. I was morose, thought about death and dying constantly. Then we moved across the country to San Jose, California, and I was so displaced and depressed that I'd just come home from school, get in bed, put on prayer music, and I was always tired, desperately longing for escape. When I was 16, I finally had the courage to ask my dad, can I see a psychologist? He said I could, but he didn't think anything was really wrong with me. He thought this was just a phase I was going through. And he knew, because my dad's a psychiatrist. That was associative stigma, one of my biggest hurdles. I attempted suicide and found myself in hospitals a couple of times. I gave up on my dreams and figured I had no hope. Recovery is not linear. My first period of recovery began when I was 19 and I started seeing a psychiatrist and going to therapy twice a week. And it worked for a while until I relapsed. Relapse is a part of recovery. A major turning point was getting diagnosed correctly at 32 with borderline personality disorder. That introduced me to dialectical behavior therapy, DBT. In 2007, I started sharing my story of mental health challenges and recovery. I learned that you cannot silence me or stop me. Recently, I tried alternative treatments, ketamine infusion therapy, healing retreats, a somatic healer, and DBT after 19 years. My biggest win is that I'm alive today. I talk about my mental health journey in public, eradicating stigma. I've been extremely active in mental health advocacy, from training and facilitating to peer certifications and awards. I originally joined MHA Solve in 2010. I've been interviewed about BPD for various news outlets and appear in NAMI and Graham's videos. Personally, I married my best friend. We are child-free, we love scuba and the outdoors and our dog. These successes, the reason I tell you about them is to maintain my recovery. They prove to me that I can achieve my goals. Everyone deserves to be happy, even me. And these things are reminders of how far I've come. I'm living proof that recovery is possible. My self-care includes a lot of grounding activities, things that get me out of my head. Having a mental health challenge means daily acceptance. I have to work every single day to maintain and manage my symptoms. I practice mindfulness and meditation. I finally started exercising. I have eating and sleeping protocol. I love journaling and affirmations. Music is huge. Anything to do with self-improvement and growth. I have grit, but my lesson is that I need to be gentle with myself, protect my inner child. So what does mental illness look like? On the outside, I was composed and confident, always smiling, but I was struggling on the inside, suffocating. I had to form a shell around my mushy interior to survive. Today, my strength is in my vulnerability. I left my corporate job and took a more authentic role to live as a peer. And I use my vulnerability now in my work, and it's valued. My job has to align with my spiritual goals. I look forward to realizing more of my dreams. I'm dreaming again. I'll be seeing a spiritual coach. I'm going back to stand-up comedy. I want to go back to India to start more conversations about mental health. I want to grow my business. I am that phoenix rising from the ashes again and again each time I relapse and have to go back into the rebuilding phase. I know once again I've survived. I know I am strong. I know My biggest value is contribution, which is vital for sustaining me. Helping others heal and find peace is a cornerstone of my recovery. I truly want to be the hope to someone else that I never had. So when you look at me, what do you see? Thank you.